Hey everybody, welcome to New World News. I am Casey and it is August 1st, 2023. Another day, another month, and another Donald Trump indictment. This time it is coming from the special counsel probe into the January 6, 2021 situation. They call it a riot. It was clearly not a riot. It was clearly not any of what they are saying. But I'm not going to mince words or opinions on this video, so strap in, buckle up. Here we go. Special counsel Jack Smith's investigation into the Capitol riot on January 6, 2021 has resulted in 4 federal counts against the president, against the former president Donald Trump. He will report to federal court in Washington, D.C. for his arraignment on Thursday, August the 3rd at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's just in 2 short days, less than 2 short days, actually. He is being charged with the following. So the 4 charges include conspiracy to defraud the United States. How rich and ironic is that, to defraud the United States? You mean like stealing an election, committing fraud against us? I don't know. Who might have done that? Conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. They're talking about the electoral vote ratification that was to occur that day. Obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding. And conspiracy against rights. How rich? Conspiracy against our rights. You mean our voting rights? Our rights to have a fair and balanced election? To have a fair, accurate election? Yeah, get out of here. The second federal indictment, of course, his last indictment, it was 37 counts related to the alleged improper retention of classified records from his presidency, which it seems all those documents were clear for him to take. They were unrelated to the documents he wasn't supposed to have with him. Those charges include willful retention of national defense information, conspiracy to obstruct justice, false statements, blah, 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 blah. On and on and on. This is the second time in the U.S. history that a former president has faced federal criminal charges. The defendant, Donald J. Trump, was the 45th president of the United States and a candidate for re-election in 2020. When he lost the presidential election, despite having lost, the defendant was determined to remain in power. He didn't lose the election. He only lost the election because they didn't allow us to fight. The special counsel alleges for 2 months following election day, November 3rd, that Trump spread lies that there had been outcome determinative fraud in the election. That happened. That's a fact. There was fraud in that election. You cannot deny it. Point blank, period. It happened. And that he had actually won. Was it enough fraud to create him to be winning instead of losing? We don't know. Probably, but there was absolutely fraud. To say there was no fraud is a bold-faced lie, and it's embarrassing. He should be embarrassed. It lists various claims Trump's made about the post-election state challenges in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, of which 1, 2, 3, 4, those 5 states he probably, well, Wisconsin for sure, Pennsylvania almost certainly, Michigan maybe not, Georgia probably, and Arizona. At least 3 of those states, probably 4 of them he won. These claims were false, and the defendant knew they were false. No, again, fraud happened. It's true, and Trump knows it's true, and we all know it's true. The defendant repeated and widely disseminated them anyways to make his knowingly false claims appear legitimate, create an intense national atmosphere of mistrust and anger, and erode public faith in the administration of an election. He's blaming Trump for people's actions. You can't be held responsible for what other people do if you just speak your opinion, whether it's facts or not. It is factual, but even if it's not, it's your opinion that, in my opinion, there was something shady going on in the election, and then somebody else gets mad and goes and does something dumb. That's not my problem. That's not my problem. There are 6 unnamed co-conspirators in the indictment, one of which they named tonight in Michigan. I'll cover that in another video. Reacting to the charges, of course, Trump's campaign spokesman and team said that this is an attempt by the weaponized Department of Justice, these 3-letter FBI, CIA, DOJ, NSA, blah, 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 FF, whatever. They're all weaponized. The Biden family is using them to interfere with the 2024 presidential election, in which President Trump is the disputed frontrunner and leading by substantial margins. Again, probably fact. I haven't looked at the polls, so I'm not 100% on that, but I'm sure they are. Why wasn't it announced 2.5 years ago? Why bring it now? Oh, because we're in the middle of a campaign season. But most importantly of all, don't forget, you guys, Hunter Biden, little guy, his former business partner who knows everything, who was present for calls and meetings and is spilling the dirt that could put them in jail for decades, is currently testifying behind closed doors yesterday and I believe today also. And this is their distraction to say, oh, don't worry about it, we didn't do nothing. They're so corrupt and criminal, it is so not even believable that they didn't do this to not just interfere with the election, that's a byproduct, but to distract the American people from what's going on with Mr. Archer and Hunter Biden's former business dealings that will implicate the big guy, Joe Biden, Joseph Robinette Biden, into doing illegal, shady stuff, if not committing fraud of his own and violating his oath to the office at the time as a vice president. Remember, he was vice president. So as we scroll down, 3 years ago, we had strong borders, energy independence, and no inflation, and a great economy. Today, we're a nation in decline, and President Trump will not be deterred by disgraceful and unprecedented political targeting. It's all it is. It's a political witch hunt. When are the American people going to have enough? If they get away with this, if they put him in jail or they get him removed from the 2024 election, and guys, think about this. Whether it's him or whether it's Ron DeSantis or whether it's Ted Cruz or whoever it is that's in that chair, whether Trump could drop dead tomorrow and somebody's going to fill that spot that is going to go after this administration. They're going to beat this administration. They're going to try to put this administration in jail where it belongs. They are weaponizing the Department of Justice and the rest of these organizations to put these contenders, these competition, these political opponents in jail. Who are the only other few people we know that have done this? 1930s Hitler, Germany, Mussolini in Italy. I mean, Kim Jong-un in North Korea taking his own uncle and his own political opponents that he heard might be rumbling against him outside and shooting them with anti-aircraft guns. Saddam Hussein did it in the 80s or the 90s, whatever it was, the 80s, I believe, where he took people out of a meeting of his Congress and took them out back and game over. Like, these are people that, Stalin, that arrested their political opponents because they didn't want what they were doing exposed or stopped. This is scary, you guys. This is terrifying that they're doing this in America. And what's more terrifying is that none of us are standing up and doing anything about it. The only people that even remotely attempted to do anything about it are arrested, they're crushed, they're thrown behind bars. It is a terrifying, terrifying thing to have happen. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here reading through it, and they breached the U.S. Capitol during a joint session of Congress to certify the Electoral College results. We all know the story. Trump, pleads not guilty. He was impeached twice, acquitted twice. Had he been impeached by the House twice, or any one of the two times, and the Senate had actually convicted him, then he could have been barred from future elections. So if you're impeached and you're acquitted like he was, you can run for office. It's nothing happened. But if the Senate had convicted him, then they can move to bar him from running for federal public office moving forward. But that didn't happen. So Fulton County, Georgia, also looking to wrap up a criminal investigation to charge the president with 2020 presidential election fraud or overturning fraud and alleged efforts to arrest him in the state of Georgia on state charges. A special grand jury in Fulton County released portions of the report dealing findings from earlier this year. They met for 7 months with witnesses including Rudy Giuliani, who was Trump ally, Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, high-ranking Georgia officials, including Raffensperger and Governor Brian Kemp. So they're trying to come after him in the Democratic states. They're trying to come after him in the federal level. If it's never been so obvious to you guys, and I'm not giving political opinions, but I'm telling you guys, the facts of the matter are, we have proven there has been plenty of overwhelming evidence and proof that there was fraud on that day. How much fraud, we don't know because they won't let us see, because they shut it down. Just because they shut it down doesn't mean it didn't happen. It means they've been paid off. It means they are corrupt. It means they have political ambitions. It means they have ulterior motives. It means they have been threatened, blackmailed, blackballed, or scared out of their minds to speak up. And still, some of them have, and they've been written off because the courts won't do anything about it, because the courts are in the Biden's back pocket like everybody else, Burisma in Ukraine and China and everybody else.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, that is the way that the Bidens operate. If you are in any position to oppose them or do anything to them, they will shut you down and they will pay off anybody and everybody they have to make you go away. Hence what we're going through right now. So anyways, I'm not going to mince the words. You guys can use the comment section down below. As always, I appreciate you watching the video. Appreciate you being present here on the New World News channel. If you could subscribe to the channel, it would mean a lot to me. If you could give this video a thumbs up, that would mean a ton to me as well. I appreciate you guys, and I'll have more videos out tomorrow. August 2nd as we open up a new month here. And like I said, a new day, a new month. And A new Donald Trump special probe, a new Donald Trump indictment. There we go, on every website across America about 6 p.m. Eastern time this evening, and it's a little after 10 now. So here we go again, y'all. How many more is going to happen? How many more witch hunts? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But until the next video, the next indictment, the next indictment party, I'll see everybody in the next video clip, the next story, and hopefully I'll see you guys subscribe to this channel. Good night, everyone.